Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. The 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft bait needs, go to the153anglers.com. Now let's get this show started. What's going on? Facebook Live, YouTube, Dave Randall.
Brian Chiller.
You haven't been here in a while, dude.
I know. Place looks great. Like what you've done with it.
I haven't done anything. Haven't done much. Welcome back, all you viewers, listeners to the podcast. It's been a hot minute. You know, we had a break there. I know I did that one episode during the break with I'm going to butcher that name. Umbilico company. It was a good show, man. If you guys missed it, you could always go back and watch on the Facebook, the YouTube, listen on the podcast platforms. If you're new, welcome. We're here every Thursday evening, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Did you have a good Christmas, Jay?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, grinning a little bit?
Well, I guess.
Did you get anything good?
Oh, you're going to make me say it.
What'd you get? I forgot.
I got a woman for life.
Oh, that's right. Jay Randall got engaged, boys and girls.
Yep, finally did it.
Congrats. You know, it only took 10 years.
Yeah, a little bit. You
know. We got Nicholas Beltran in the chat. He says, "What's good, fellas? Happy New Year's, guys."
Right back at you, man.
Hope everybody had a good Christmas and New Year's. You know, we for the past 3 seasons, we usually start the season off with our good friend JD DeRosier, but it kind of this year fell on his wife's birthday, so that wasn't possible. So,
wait, she's more important than us?
You could talk to him about that next week.
What up with that, JD?
So JD will be on next week. He's a good, positive dude. We always like chatting with him, but we got the next best thing. I think they're equals. Equals. I'm not playing favorites. But we got John Big Daddy Rapp in the house from the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. How you doing, brother?
Hey, that was a nice save, brother.
Yeah.
Nice save.
I didn't want the Federale coming after me, in the words of John Graves.
I don't want to feel like I'm sloppy seconds or anything, you know?
No, man. We love you. You know that.
Yeah, I love you, boys. So, what do we got planned for 2022, huh?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. You know, you started your podcast last year, and it was roughly after, you know, we kind of met each other, you know.
Yep.
I know you had kind of been thinking about it. Kicked off your podcast. It was the No Name Podcast for the longest time, and then you decided to name it the Rusty Hook Podcast, and I've enjoyed it, man.
Fishing.
Yeah,
I went fishing, man. You know, and started to cast out a Ned rig and looked down. That thing was all rusted up. I'm like, wow, there it is.
Nice. I like it. But it's been good, man. You got a different format. You're kind of doing like these mini segments in your show. And I really like the fact you got Chris Payne coming on, doing like a kind of like a tech talk and every week. And I know he's been making a lot of baits and stuff. So he's been in the kitchen cooking while he's on your show and stuff like that. So that's cool, man. I like it. I dig it. I think what you're doing is awesome, man.
I appreciate that. You know, you guys, you know, we spent a few hours down at Del Holla together. And, you know, I told you I was bouncing around, had no really idea that you were the pod father, you know. And then you got your boy there. You know?
You're only allowed to call me that on your show, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say pod father and Robin, you know. But,
that's even better. I like it.
You know.
I'm Robin.
But, yeah, man, you know, we were smacking down some Miller Lights and we were talking, and yeah, I guess after that conversation, I was done. I was like, well, I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to do it. The biggest thing that I had problems with, and I suspect it might be part of the problem tonight. The good thing about using StreamYard is that, I get to send my signal up to a server and everything gets to be shot from there. And
Sure.
where I use Streamlabs OBS, everything shoots to my computer and then I reshoot it. So I'm down here in the middle of God's nowhere, Narnia, and I have very, very bad signal. I did a speed test just to see what it was going to be to make sure I was good here if I didn't have to go up and get in my truck and go to the top of the hill.
Sure.
And I only had 1.3 megabytes up speed.
Oh, geez.
So that's telling you how bad that is. I'm hoping that when your viewers look at this, that it's not too awfully bad. But yeah, I'm excited about our format. You two have been a huge contributor to it, along with Chris Payne. I mean, I done 25 episodes last year, and I believe he was in 21 or 22 of them.
That's way too much, Chris Payne.
No, Chris is a good dude, man.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
I know he's a good dude.
It's funny. Like I think about that, right? Like you said 24 episodes.
25 or 26.
See, I wish all we had was 25. Because just for our viewers, last year, 2021 alone, Paddle and Finn did 329 episodes.
That's a little bit.
That's pretty freaking ridiculous. But it's a lot of work, man, when it's a one-man show, and especially with your format too, because you're having on multiple guests every show, whereas like our show, we typically have one guest on and we're talking and getting a story or a theme out there, and you're talking to multiple guys with multiple different things going on. And then, one thing I know, I've been on your podcast a couple times, you usually end it with like a little roundtable discussion, which is cool. You usually have a common topic that you ask all the guys individually, and then they all come together at the end to talk about it, which is cool, man.
I call that our Fireside Chat. And it's normally ends the show the last 15 minutes. Chris Payne's normally on doing something in the kitchen, talking about one of the products he's reviewed or some fishing baits that he's making that we get to watch live. I really enjoy that when he does that, because especially when we're just talking and you got him up on the screen and you can sit there. I'm watching pretty intently. Sometimes
Sure.
I lose my train of thought about what I'm talking about because I'm like, what did he just do right there? But he makes some awesome baits. And those glowworms are really sharp. And I got him to make me some custom lizards too. So
nice.
Anybody looking for anything from Chris and you want it custom, specifically to the color you want, he can do it, and you can save a little money. He's got a discount code on our Rusty Hook page if you want to look it up and use it. So nice.
I know the feeling of being distracted. I did a podcast over on the New Canoe show with Romel Labrador out in California, and he's working with Newport vessels now. And
sweet.
He during the podcast, he's like, I'm going to show you guys how easy this is, and he rigged up one of those Newport motors on the New Canoe right there on the show. And I'm like trying to ask him questions, but at the same time, I'm like, the hell did he just do down there? Like trying to figure it out when I go to rig mine up. So it gets distracting, but it's cool at the same time because, listeners and viewers can kind of follow along and see what goes into things. You know what I mean?
Hey, is that motor that he hooked up? Is that new motor, like the Torpedo?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look that up because I was on my last episode Tuesday night. I hit my boy Fletch Griffin up down there from Westbrook Supply.
Yep.
About that question, and because I was trying to make a decision if I'm spend the money on a Torpedo, or go to Newport News because I have two 60 AH batteries from Amped Outdoors. I could easily motorize that, use those.
Yeah.
Or maybe go with that new Bixby. I was pretty much told to maybe stay away from the Bixby if you're going to use it for long runs.
Sure.
But what are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, I know you motorize. You do a lot of rigging up and stuff.
I got one that'll be here Tuesday. It'll be here Monday or Tuesday.
What's that? The Newport?
Yeah, the Newport. So you're right in theory. It's a 24-volt motor. The big thing that I know guys are happy about it is that you could choose your battery setup for it, right? And there's a few lithium companies out there that make 24-volt batteries. Or like, for instance, you already have two 60 amp hour batteries. You can run those in series to make your 24-volt system. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, Amped Outdoors, like I work with the guys over at BioNO Power. So, there's been a huge demand for the 24-volt batteries, and they didn't have any when I talked to them about it. So, and I already had a 100 amp hour 12-volt. So I'm going to run two 12-volt 100 amp hours in series.
Ooh.
And from the conversations I had with Romel, he's like, you could go probably over 40 miles.
Yeah, I bet.
One charge. So
at high speed too, right?
Yeah. And that was the thing too, right? Like, I'm getting back into the tournament game this year. I'm going to be fishing tournaments. So getting to and from and having enough juice and being able to make those long runs, was huge for me. So that alone in itself, because, and it's no knock against Torqeedo at all, but, you get a Torqeedo motor, you got to use their Torqeedo battery, which, you can get an upgraded bigger battery, right? But, I think what the range on those is like 17-ish miles, something like that.
Like full speed?
Yeah, I don't know if that's full speed, but
you can get like 30 miles or something out of that big one. I got both of them.
If you go 50 to 70%, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too, right? Is like Torqeedo or the Newport vessels, it's got that digital readout screen, so you could see what your battery power is and how much, it's got a computer in it that will give you your range as well, to depending on how much power you're giving it, which I think is huge. Realistically, am I going to run 40 miles in a day? No, but I could probably get away fishing 2 days without charging those batteries up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, it's one last thing you got to think about when you get back to the rental property and you've pre-fished all day or fished the tournament all day, and it depends too where you're fishing, right? Some lakes you'd probably have to make a few laps to make 40 miles, or whatever it may be. But I think with those dual 60 amps, you're probably in that 30-mile range, 25, 30-mile range, which is pretty nice. And the other thing too is like, they send you everything you need in that kit for the motor, like the mounting bracket, granted, I got a separate bracket for my new canoe. I got that EPS mounting system, but like for your feel free, because you have that 4-bolt pattern on the back for your micro power pole. No.
That's the thing that sort of is a weakness of the feel free, is that they don't have a 4-bolt pattern in back like Jackson and some of the other.
I thought you guys did.
Units do, but not that I'm aware. No, I'm pretty sure we don't. That's why when I go down to East Tennessee Fishing Show in a couple weeks, and I'm gonna go sit down and talk with John Thomas.
Yeah, because he makes them out for the back, doesn't he?
Those back plates that he makes.
Yep.
See, my goal is this year is to move away from that Dorado and use that Big Fish 103, which is smaller, lighter, and a little bit more nimble and faster. And I'm hoping that Newport News motor I can put it on the back and not have to reorganize the way the rudder system is. And you still just drop that motor, push on down on the water, use my foot controls with the rudder to move. Maybe just use the motor stationary.
Okay, and the rudder to turn.
And use the rudder to turn it. Just to have power to move me. and that way when I can lift it up and I can still use the pedal drive to move around in local areas, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. That'd be a slick little setup.
But the biggest thing is just is the setup and making everything. You know, I don't want it to be looking like it's shoddy. You know,
Sure.
When I go out there, I want to look like at least look like I know what I'm doing.
I don't know, man. You might need a little work around the edges. I'm just saying, John.
You're gonna have a lot of components. It sounds like.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's go back and get John Thomas to pull up all the fish vids down there and see how many fish we caught.
I caught a few. He was never around when I caught him. But yeah, no, you know, that new Newport motor, man, it's pretty flexible. From everything I know, you know, because I use a different mounting system for it, but from what I've been told and what I've seen and what I've seen other guys do with it, it is pretty flexible as far as going on other boats and things like that. I think the only thing you might struggle with is the rudder thing, because if you get the motor and then the rudder right in front of it, that might not turn the way you would like it to be.
Right. And that may mean that I'll have to. I was talking to Rick Garvalia last night about it, and he was thinking we may have to just hook it into the rudder port, the motor itself, and then maybe get a fin to go on the bottom of it to use it as a rudder.
Okay.
When I'm not fishing, not using the motor and using the pedal drive.
I like it.
I mean, what do you think, Jay? I mean, could a person use a trolling motor back in the area where your rudder is, use your foot controls using the trolling motor head as a rudder when you're using your pedal drive? Would I mean, it's not going to be crisp turning, but will it still work?
I think it would. I mean, I think you could still. I mean, in having owned a Feel Free, I kind of know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because I was actually going to ask you if they still got that, basically where it's the metal rod that goes into the rudder. It still goes there. So I am sure that there's a way to be able to utilize that motor as your rudder when you're paddling. I'm
thinking so. I got a YouTube video one of the guys sent me to look at, and the guy is pretty slick.
So I could see taking the rudder out, hooking the motor up, and then using the actual motor itself as your rudder. I think it would still be effective for sure, because the motors all have that fin on the bottom, so it displaces the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that working for sure.
And do the foot pedals still have the toe control for Feel Free?
Yeah, I think it would work.
The rudders, I mean. No, I mean the rudders, like your rudder control for your foot control. Is it still just with toes? You don't have to like move your feet, right?
Uh-oh. John may have a little delay.
Are we cutting out? Yeah, he's delaying. We can't hear you, buddy.
Is it me or is it you guys?
It was you. Yeah, you were delaying a little bit. Does the Feel Free still have the toe control for the rudder?
Man, that question like blocks out.
You still with me?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna kick you. Why don't you come back in? Elvis Lee is chiming in. He says that is correct on the Feel Free toe control rudder. So it's still got the toe control, which is cool.
And I still think that is like the best option as far as foot control goes, because it is so annoying to use your feet. Like anywhere that you can keep like your foot stationary, it makes so much more sense.
So the new Canoe is coming out with a new control, and it's one pedal.
Yep.
And it's like a gas pedal.
Yeah.
And it'll mount. I think it can mount on either side, left and or right.
But it's going to be like
it'll be a gas pedal where it controls like that. Yeah. That should be out. You got us back now, man?
Yeah, man. I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, you're coming in much clearer now. We got the question answered. Elvis Lee was chiming in. Jay was asking if the Feel Free still had the toe control rudder.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and I was just saying that, in my opinion, I like that the best out of all of them. just because you don't have to move your legs. You have full control. You're stationary, and your toes. It's just simple using your toes.
Jay likes to be as lazy as possible in his kayak.
Dude, hey, I didn't get fat like this moving.
I'm with you.
No, I hear you, because when I used to run my Bonafide, I had that foot pedal steering, and you'd constantly have to move your pedals back and forth, and it wasn't horrible by any means, but it's nicer because it's completely hands free, right? When you could do the pedal type steering versus like currently in the new Canoe, you got a handle, Hobie with their pedal drive, you got the knob steering along with the Titan natives, Old Town, same thing, so when you can go to hands-free steering, man, that's huge. It's less time messing around, just totally like why we all went to motors and pedals, right? Less time messing around paddling and more time, casting and getting it in. Chris Yonk is asking, is that new Canoe pedal one of the existing or separate third one? Not sure what you're saying there, Chris. It's a new steering pedal. We showed off a prototype at ICAST. It'll be in conjunction with their current steering models, and it just hooks up through a cable and it mounts into the track, and it's just a single pedal. And if you push it forward, the motor makes you turn to the left, and if you push on your heel, it'll make you turn back to your right. And it's just a single pedal that'll pivot at your ankle. So there's some video of it on the New Canoe page from ICAST. I know on Chad Hoover's video when he walked through the New Canoe booth at ICAST, he showed it. There's a few videos out there, but yeah, man. So we talked about the podcast, man. I know you got plans to fish some tournaments this year as well.
Yeah, I've been trying to hit the boys up here locally and see who's going where. But I'm looking at going to Lake Murray again in February.
Okay.
Then I'll be. I'm waiting for John to see if he's going to bring us back down to Del Holla again, and if that happens, then I'll be making 2 trips there.
What's the other trip?
Well, I don't know if that's been released yet.
It's been released. We've talked about it. Thanks for keeping up with our podcast, John.
Hey, you know what? I have been watching Tourney X, so I can be the first one to sign up. Have you put it up there yet?
I don't know if it is up there yet or not.
I haven't seen it.
I'll have to ask the big boss lady.
Because I haven't seen it.
I'm not sure if it's going to be listed under Paddle and Fin or I think it's going to be under Paddle and Fin. Not 100% sure. We do have a Tennessee club that is joining us for that event, so we're partnering up for that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why I haven't. Yeah. Well,
yeah, but I think we were going to
catch your podcast, but you got to remember, I'm a pretty old dude, man, so I have to go to bed. You guys are West Coast time,
West Coast.
We're central. We're an hour behind.
Yeah, we're like right next door.
Oh man.
Hey man, so let me tell you one of the things that I'm going to try to do, and I did it with you, Brian. You were the first one that it worked with the other night.
Yeah.
Was I'm going to start a new episode where I call it Crank Calling.
I like it.
So I'm going to use Facebook Messenger as my calling device, and I'm just going to go randomly hit guys up and see if I can get them to answer, and then say, "Hey, welcome to the Rusty Hook. We got a few questions we'd like to ask you." Sort of like I did you when you were driving to the studio the other night.
Yeah, that was Tuesday night. Well, you sent me a message and you're like, "I'm gonna call you here in a minute," and I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, John's got his show tonight."
Yeah,
I kind of put 2 and 2 together. I put 2 and 2 together, but it was it's cool, man. I we talked afterwards. I went back and watched the show, and it's a cool aspect, man. You can get multiple people on, ask them a few questions real quick and then hop on to the next person. Nicholas Beltran says, at least he called you to warn you.
Hey, Nicky baby. Come on. I called Nicholas. He didn't answer. A couple other people didn't answer. Johnny Graves, Derek Burgos. They were all busy. Johnny sent me a message and said he just missed the call. He was out doing something, and Derek was in his in a high school gym, so he didn't answer. But I think we had I got the Federale Jack Gillespie to answer, sitting on his couch in his pajamas.
Johnny Graves. He was
Johnny Gillespie. John Gillespie. My buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got on. But yeah, it's. I think I'm going to throw in like 10 minutes of time on that.
Okay.
Just to hit 3 or 4 people up, see if we can get someone to jump on, and I'll post questions in advance so everybody knows what I'm going to ask, just in case they do pick up the phone.
I think I'm going to plan to be doing some weird stuff on Tuesday nights for the event that you try to call me, John.
Don't you normally do weird stuff?
Normally I'm here Tuesday nights. I'm usually here because I go live.
Well, you were on your way because remember my show's an hour and a half earlier than yours.
Well, usually I'm here Tuesday night. Tuesday I got off work a little early, so I went home and then I drove back down here and did the show and then drove home. So, but normally I come here straight from work. So usually I'm sitting around here anyways. So
doing weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean, usually, but, no, it's cool, man. I like it. You're always trying new stuff, making, doing some new things with your show. It's cool, man. It's a nice format.
Here's the one thing I'm going to show you, man, that the wife got me for Christmas. I put a picture up last night. Can I turn my camera around?
Yeah. If you go down, it should say camera view down there, or go to cam mic settings and then click camera, and it should give you front camera, back camera.
Brian's also help desk when you need him.
I wanted to hit this. Oh, she got you a cat.
So, yeah, while I'm in here in the studio, man, in my spare bedroom, I got this big lockbox for Christmas.
Nice.
So I cut a hole out. This here is going to be for all my cords and USB drives and stuff.
Was that Tupperware?
Hey, go on. I got to get in there.
Dude, we're making. When do we start making cat videos?
Yeah. Well, what was cool was Tuesday night. John normally does his show from his son's place, and his son's got COVID, so he couldn't go there. So he went and did his show live from the local bar that sponsors your show, right?
Yeah, well, they sponsor our West Virginia kayak anglers, and they're really good for holding our tournaments and stuff there.
Okay.
When we go do our fish check-ins, and he'll barbecue for us. So our first year there, he had a big fish fry and didn't charge anybody anything to eat. So, I mean,
that's cool.
Steve Brown from the Tractor Bar, Mountain Ebo, if anybody's ever by, it's a great place to be. And, but yeah, so look at this graphic here. What do you think about this?
What's the thing to the right with all the squares?
That's a Streamlab studio setup where you can have all your frames set up on that and then hit that to shift it on and over.
Oh, that's cool.
Paddle and Fin, huh? Are you finally coming over?
What do you think about that one?
Are you coming over or what?
I'm always with the Paddle and Fin boys, brother.
Are you joining forces or what?
I thought we were already joined.
Are we recruiting live right now?
Yeah, we are. Nicholas Beltran says John is keeping cats in his cases. I like the setup, man.
That's my stream deck right there, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's made by Streamlabs, isn't it? It's kind of nice because you can have all your stuff right there and just shuffle through all your frames.
So you can
add people in and out.
You can preload pictures and stuff and videos.
Yeah, it coincides with OBS, which is a streaming platform.
Oh, here's my mood lighting right here.
Oh boy, it's getting dark.
But see right here, guys. Like I got that frame there, and I can go to this focus button and see the middle frame.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the focus button, and you can see I've got the edge and Discord. Where you guys are on Discord, if I go to edge, it'll bring up the. Oh crap! It brings up Microsoft the edge. So whatever I have on the on the screen over here will show there.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
You can see that video there is on the middle screen there.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically how I run that thing, man.
It's a cool setup, man. I know you showed it to me at ICAST, and it's pretty unique. I know it takes some time to, fool around with it and get used to it and, get things, kind of dial in for sure.
Well, the biggest thing, like that graphic that I pulled up, I getting my scenes and my videos to work inside my graphics to work inside the scenes. Where I mean, with StreamYard, it's not quite as it's a lot easier.
Sure.
And hey, I know you're good friends with Randy Newton too.
Yep.
He has a stream deck now that he set up earlier in the week using StreamYard.
Interesting. Okay.
So if you might hook up with him because you know how we network, brother.
Yeah,
We're always talking to each other. He's got a nice thing going on down there. He's actually online right now doing a captain's meeting for their tournament this weekend. So
nice. Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, and I didn't want to skip over this, but Nicholas Beltran said next ICAST we should do a kayak fishing podcast event. Lake Kissimmee, all podcasters invited. I thought that'd be a killer idea. Jay's just got to go to ICAST, but it would be cool, man. We've talked about that in the past. It's there's so many of us out there now. Like I remember when Paddle and Fin started, there was like us, some guys out on the West Coast, and KBN, and that was basically it, And then it's cool to see all these little shows that have popped up here and there. Some of them we've scooped up, like, and we've joined forces. But that's the thing, man. Like, I've talked about it on here before. Me and Jay have talked about it. Like, people will be like, "Oh, so and so just started a podcast," and it's like, cool, awesome, like, great, more content for everybody, And what a lot of people don't know is we all talk and work with each other, and try to help each other out and help grow each other's platforms. That's why you're always seeing all of us on each other's shows,
Exactly.
So it's cool, man. It's cool. I dig it. So getting back to tournaments though, you're going back to Smith Lake. Is there any other big events for the season other than like Dale Hollow and Smith that you're planning on doing? Or are you going to fish some of your local club events there in West Virginia? Or
I'm diehard WVKA guy, man. And if I'm not somewhere nationwide, I'll be at the West Virginia Kayak Anglers events. I mean, I started that club 5 years ago, grew it to being the biggest in the state. And if you anytime they have an event and I can be there, I'm gonna take my setup and I'm gonna basically do a live run from there with their winners. Like last year with the show, I would record everything there and bring it back and incorporate it into the show on Tuesday night.
Nice.
And also interview the winners. So like that's how Storm Carver was on my show all the time. The Storm just tore it up down here this year. And then of course Mark Edwards and Mikey Holcomb and a few of the other guys. I do not plan on putting away the fishing poles. I will be out on the water. And I purchased this, guys. I know you've got a laptop. Hey, Richard.
He says, wait, is there something better than Dale Hollow? There's absolutely nothing better than Dale Hollow.
But I got one of these now. This is what I used up at the tractor bar night before last with everything. It's a 4G hotspot.
Yeah.
And it works great, outstanding. And so you will see me doing stuff on a lakeside or riverside, maybe out of the blue this year, just throwing up, doing some stuff on the water. I'll even maybe take this out of the water and try to do a dual setup and do fishing, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, it's going to be multifaceted. And back to your question about if I'm going to join you guys with the paddle and fin, I've always been with you boys. I believe everything that you guys do is outstanding, and I'm really excited about your fantasy fishing league that y'all are picking up. I think that's going to be outstanding. Has that dropped yet?
Oh, so that'll be live here next week. We got a live show that we're doing Tuesday night. We're going to probably try to do a show every other week in the heart of the season, following the fantasy game. But, you know, for those listening and watching, watch out next Tuesday night. We'll have a live show about it. We're going to have some videos showing how you can go in, pick your team. It's going to be a lot like fantasy football, and it's going to incorporate 3, possibly 4 of the major trails, definitely Bass, KBF in the Hobie series. And then because the Midwest kind of got shafted a little bit this year, what we're looking at doing is maybe adding in the All-American Kayak Classic Trail too, because they're going from Texas all the way up to, I think it's like North Dakota or South Dakota and everything in between in the Midwest. So
Josh Booth does a great job with that.
Yeah, Josh Booth's a man. You know, he's run Moyak for years. I've fished some events, KBF events that coincided with Moyak, and Josh Booth has always run that. He's also, you know, just done an amazing job. And so anyways, it'll be a lot like fantasy football where you can go in, pick a team, there's salary caps, things like that. There'll be 4 quarters throughout the season, a winner every quarter, and then a winner overall for the season for the year. So we're going to drop all those details Tuesday night. It'll be 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. And we may even try to get the California Trail involved as well. So we want to make it a big game. And then also what you could do is, for instance, you know, like you get a bunch of your boys from the West Virginia kayak anglers together, and you can make your own group game within the bigger game.
Yeah. So actually, that would be a really good thing to get all the guys involved in, especially large clubs, because I know our club had 141 people in it last year.
Yeah, so you guys could go in and set up all your teams, and you guys could play against each other, and you know, have a winner of the club. And again, it'll follow all the major trails for the season, and it'll be cool, man. We got some cool prize packs that'll be given away through some companies we're working with, and for the overall winner, we're working on something kind of big right now, so can't spill all the beans yet, but you know, it'll be cool, man. It'll be fun. It'll be a new way for folks to be engaged and follow along, you know, some of these national anglers, and, you know, kind of help grow the sport. You know, like I know, like I've never been a football fan. I've always been a hockey guy. Right. And when the guys at my old office would be like, oh, get in fantasy football, next thing you know, I'm watching football games, you know, paying attention to players, what they're doing and things like that. So kind of the same concept, you know, Drew Gregory and Ken Morris kind of set it up the previous 2 years, and it was kind of like you set your team and forget it. Now we're taking it another step higher and making it more interactive. So each week you can go in, reset your roster, trade off players, pick up other players, you know, things like that. So it should be pretty cool, pretty interesting, and just, you know, spice it up a little bit. But the one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know one of the gentlemen that runs West Virginia kayak anglers was on your show this past Tuesday, is West Virginia is now doing a state championship.
Yes.
Where they reached out to a few of the clubs in the state, and now they're all, sending their best at the end of the season to compete for a state championship. And I think you've seen this a lot. I got a message a few weeks ago. I guess Wisconsin's doing the same thing. 3 or 4 of the clubs in Wisconsin are all going to do the same thing at the end of the year. Illinois kind of does something like that, but they do it. It's kind of like a Midwest thing where they do Crossroads Classic. So it's Michigan, Indiana, used to be Ohio, in Wisconsin, and I think maybe somebody from Iowa comes out, and they send their best 5 as a team and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool, man, to see these clubs working together, doing a state type thing, at the grassroots level. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I think it's great. I'm glad Greg Kupfner was able to pull it off and get with those guys and to work with them and get something hashed out. So, I mean, I don't understand exactly everything about the concept but from what he was telling me, that it's our top 12 from each club.
Yeah.
And then, and the way I understand it is that all those 12 from each club go to the same body of water and fish.
Yep.
But it's not one tournament. It's each club still monitors their top 12, scores their fish, and then they put everything together to make that determination. So that is the thing that I'm still trying to get my hand on to understand. If it's 3 tournaments in one, because they call it like the best of the best.
Yeah.
So but I'm sure Greg's got his fingers on it.
Sure.
He knows what he's doing. So I have all the faith in the world in him, and I'm just going to sit back and wait for him to say, do this, do that, and I'm going to do it. So
nice. Yeah,
if
cool.
I fish all of their events, my intent is to be in the top 12 to fish that event. So
come on, Big Daddy, you'd be in the top 3.
Hey, I'm humble, baby. I'll take 12.
I'll take 12. That sounds like a Randall comment right there. Yeah.
Be the underdog. And that way when you show up in 5th or 3rd, they're like, oh yeah, I was gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see, because I mean, when I came into the kayak fishing scene, right, like there was multiple clubs in the area, and it seemed like everybody just wanted to do their own thing. They didn't want to work together. Like they wanted to have their own set of rules, do their own thing, whatever. But nowadays, man, you're seeing all these clubs come together, and they still got their own individual series. And you've been around the sport a long time. Now they're all coming together, and within their states, they're trying to make it work where they have a state championship and get all the guys together. So maybe, guys from your club may go fish an event at the other club, and show each other some love,
Oh, that happens a lot up here. We always tried not to schedule our events on other club events because we knew that probably 1/3 of our members were members of all 3 clubs. And you don't want to make them choose which one they want to do. You want to give them the opportunity to fish all of them.
Sure.
So that's one thing I can say that has always been pretty good about West Virginia. There, of course, there's always going to be our club's better, your club's better. There's always going to be a little, that under the breath activity going on because I know it happens.
Sure.
But you just, it's like a duck. You let that water roll and you keep on going on. When I was doing it, I didn't do it for John Rapp. I did it for the guys that fished the club.
That's the way it should be, man.
And I know guys out there don't like me, and that's their choice.
Found out.
You
found
Jay's
out.
one of them, but
I don't like anybody. I don't even like him.
But that's okay. what I did was not for me. It was for the well-being of the sport, and I'm really happy that Greg is running it now, and he's able to make relationships and make things happen to build the sport even bigger here. So
I dig it, man. I definitely dig it. It's cool, man. Like I said, to bring everybody together versus, just everybody out there doing their own thing, man. If you even if it's just the one event at the end of the year where you could bring the whole state together to have a good time and battle it out. And of course, everybody wants those bragging rights, but at the end of the day, everybody's there just having fun, getting along, man. And that's the most important part.
We had, I mean, we've done stuff like that here. We had a club versus club battle. And you took your top 10 from each club's scores, and whoever had the best score took home a trophy to keep until the following year. But that sort of fell to the wayside about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, anytime people work together for the betterment of the sport, it's a win.
Amen to that.
And that includes us, podcasters, fishermen, tournament guys, social media guys. I mean, I know you guys are great for information. I pass along a lot of the stuff that I use my iPhone for like intros and outros and
sure.
To help people.
You may have helped with some intros that I know of. Just saying.
What's that?
You may have helped with some intros that I know of.
Oh,
just saying.
Yeah, and always willing to help, baby.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Once
man.
You get your new sponsors for 2022 up, let me know. We'll make it happen.
Nicholas Beltran tuning in. He said, "That's how our country should work." Like, I like it. I like it. He also said, "Can you imagine John driving around with his podcast set up on a scooter at ICAST?"
Yes, I can.
You were joking about that, but
yeah, I can just see like an antenna coming off of him. Yeah,
he'll have that big fancy LED flagpole that he's got on his kayak on the back of his scooter. I like it. I like it, man.
That's
what
right,
else?
Baby.
What else for 2022, man? Can we see coming out of you? Things coming up, things to look forward to from John Big Daddy Rapp or Rusty Hook Fishing Podcast.
Hey, more of the same. And the biggest thing is I like I said, I am not going to be confined to a bedroom in my son's apartment anymore.
Okay.
I think we've got this stuff all set up. I got it on a little table it's a fold-up table. I can go anywhere, and I can be on anytime, any location. I was actually thinking about, doing some meet and greets. So
that's cool.
How we do your Tuesday night podcast there at the studio. Well, I was thinking about saying, okay, I'm gonna contact like Calasino's bar in Beckley and say, hey, can I have a spot in the corner? I want to do a podcast, and I want to reach out and say any fishermen in the Beckley area that want to come, drink a cold one, eat some spaghetti or pizza, and let's sit down and talk about kayak fishing, and maybe do it live right from their bar.
That'd be cool.
But
I mean, that was our idea behind this, but United Airlines and Southwest hasn't give us a sponsorship where we could fly people into the studio yet. So unfortunately, we're still doing things remote. One day we'll get to Joe Rogan status. That's the goal.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is seeing you guys outside with your big drilling about a 6-foot hole in the ice, and you're sitting out there with your tables, and you got your podcast going live on video, and watching Jay jump over to grab that 35 or 40 inch pike out of that hole.
I don't think you ever see me run fast until that happens.
Yeah. She's like, flag. Like, holy
dude,
crap, I've never seen him run that fast ever in his life. Like, dude can actually move.
Every second counts.
But
that's right.
We've talked about that. Doing it live from the ice is a little tricky. I know I've got a few cell phones at the bottom of lakes during ice fishing. Mostly not from me, mostly from friend of ours, Eric. If you're watching, yeah, I just called you out.
God, Eric.
But yeah, we've talked about it, man. Ice is almost. I would say by tomorrow should be pretty safe, but we got 2 more weekends of bow hunting here, so I'm sure we'll be wrapping that up before we get out on the ice, and then I'll be.
Well, that's a great one right there, Brian. I mean, you got those big 2-person tree stands.
Yeah.
So go up there and in that tree stand and set up a small table with your laptop and your cell phone.
Yeah.
And go live.
That won't scare the deer away.
If they only knew like what we say to each other while we're hunting. Like we text each other. Oh, that's the only thing that keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're sitting there like this.
No, but I
used to film a lot of my hunts, and yeah, it's just it got to be a pain, and obviously I quit hunting for a few years, and then this guy got me back into hunting, and now it's all been downhill since. I've definitely looked at my camera tree arm a few times and been like, I should bring a camera with me, and I never do. But yeah, we got a couple.
I got some good video out there too of I'm climbing up a tree and my bow's still on the ground, and there comes a doe standing almost on top of my bow with an 8-point trail on her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what can you do? There's I can't pull that bow up because she's almost standing on it, and she can see it and spook, and they're gone. So I sit there for 10 minutes recording it, just shaking my head. What can you do? It's on my YouTube. It's funny. I mean, but yeah,
I like it. I like it.
Honestly, man, I know we only got about a few minutes left here, and I don't know what you guys got planned, but I look forward to April 1st, and I'm bringing my stuff down, and I'm hoping we can sit down and record some stuff and talk about stuff, build some scenes. Have a good time in the evenings down there.
We could have a big podcast and stream it on all our platforms down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our show, your show, we can combine them all. Elvis Lee is asking, is Paddle and Finn having a trail series this season? We're not having a trail series. We're just having the one event at Dale Hollow. It's April 2nd and 3rd is the event dates. Will be based out of Eastport there. And
and Mr. Lee, if you haven't went down there, you need to go. That is Mr. DeVries has an outstanding facility down there. The water, it's world-class fishing, great little restaurant. I mean, we stayed on the water at one of our times down there, and it was the best time that I've had in the last couple of years fishing.
I like it down there. It's awesome on the water.
Richard said, "Where is it?"
Yeah,
Dale Hollow, baby, Eastport Marina.
Ask Nathan, Rich.
What did I say? What did I say?
I don't know.
I
I thought I said Eastport.
I thought you did too.
He's just being a dork.
I'm sure he's just giving us a hard time.
Is it Eastport Marina?
Yeah,
it is.
Eastport Marina.
Eastport Marina, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. The farm, right? Eastport Marina.
Yeah.
You
just start naming off like names of cottages next. Is it the Hodgepodge, the farm, Eastport Marina? Is it the lake house, the Hodgepodge?
I think we plugged him quite a bit there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
out there and everything.
Without a doubt, he's got a great facility down there. And anybody if you get the opportunity to stay at one of his houseboats, I mean,
he said, "Say it one more time."
Yeah. Here, look. Actually, let me say it. That place is so nice.
Hey,
that I'm getting married there.
Oh! Jay
excellent.
Just dropped the juice.
I'm getting married there.
I know where me and Beth are coming to, whether we got an invite or not.
John, you're on the list.
I'll let you know
send
when
you
it
an
is.
invite, brother.
If he doesn't send it, I'll let you know when it is. Just come crash the party, my man.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
March of 23, man.
I love it. I love it. No, it'll be fun, man. It'll be a lot of fun. That event's always great. The hospitality is phenomenal. The food is amazing. The accommodations, the fishing. I
It's
mean,
top
the
notch, man. Grade A.
scenery. Yeah.
And it's quiet, right? It's totally chill. It's out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that thing, but or that kind of thing. But I don't know. I like it. You're surrounded by the foothills, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. I love that. Every time I go there, I'm always like, I'm moving to Tennessee. I'm moving to Tennessee. And I'm finally moving to Tennessee.
Richard said, yes, he is, if he can keep her until 2023. I love it. I
think my rate just got cheaper.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, set aside that houseboat for us so we can stay down on the water again, brother.
There you go.
But no, man, it's fun. I look forward to seeing you in person this year, man. I know we'll run into each other a few times and
No
all
doubt.
that good stuff, man. But plug your stuff, man. Where can people find the podcast? What time it is? All that good stuff, man. Plug your socials.
OnlyFans.
Any of your sponsors, your OnlyFans.
Big plug out to Payne Outdoors, Chris Payne. He is one of our sponsors for the podcast. My boys from West Virginia, Harold Harper from the Guggen brothers. He's a Ned Rig jig baker. When he can get his supplies, guys know how it is with COVID. He's been having issues getting his lead and stuff, but he makes really good stuff. Then, of course, John Thomas and Feel Free Kayaks are my personal sponsors that I throw in and plug on the show. They don't provide anything for the show itself, but I plug them because I represent them, and that show is part of me. So, but in 2022, I can hope to continue the format that I've developed. Just going to be a little bit more mobile, but my goal is to talk about gear, have Chris Payne come on and talk about gear.
He's
reviews.
In the house. Don't talk bad about him.
There he is. And Chris provides excellent knowledge on so many topics. And then, of course, you guys come on and we get two or three guys together, me, Chris, and whoever else is on the show, and we talk about a topic at the end. And as I've gotten better, and both of you guys have seen my growing pains with my software, but as of my scenes have gotten better and my backgrounds have gotten better, I've been able to incorporate more stuff like talking about websites and things like that, where I can, when I have you, Brian, talking about Paddle and Fin, I can also have the Paddle and Fin website scrolling in the background. So
yeah.
And we can, the one thing that's going to be done more. I'm hoping I can do more videos like the episode I did with Mikey Holcomb. I went and grabbed some of his video when he was fishing a river and caught some nice fish, put it up, and had him talk about it.
Yeah.
Live while the video was running. So he's able to articulate and talk about the techniques he used to catch those fish. So some of those things.
Mr. Ricketts is in the house. Says, miss you guys, man. Hope you're all
Big
doing
JR,
great.
baby.
Same to you, brother. Hope
Happy
you're doing
New Year,
well.
man.
Ricketts, Ricketts.
But that's the thing. So when you guys, bring me into the Paddle and Fin Network, then I can also have all your wonderful podcasters come onto the show. Like Dustin came on and was for my Halloween episode.
Yeah, that's right. He was Garth, right?
Yeah, he was Garth. He dressed up as Garth. So we had a good time. And that's the one thing that I like to try to do with the show is keep it light and fun and where people can laugh at themselves.
Sure.
And have a good time. Because us three, we know we have a good time when we're together and we laugh at ourselves. So but yeah, that's the goal for 2022, man.
No, I dig it, man. I look forward to seeing you grow and just seeing you out there and having us all together under the same roof again and cracking it up and having two more, Big Daddy.
I'll make sure I bring you guys some moonshine now.
That'd be swell.
Jay just perked up for the first time of the night, so there you go. No, I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you coming on tonight and chatting with us, catching up, giving us the outlook on 2022.
I know I was sloppy seconds, but I'm still happy to be here.
I said you were just as good, man. You guys are equals. You guys are equals.
You're all broken in and stuff.
We've just had this. We've had this tradition.
You're right, Jay.
We've had this tradition in it, and the tradition was broken, and it's a new beginning, my friend. New beginning. So there you go. But no, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining us tonight. We're here every Thursday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. You could always go back if you missed part of the show, rewatch on Facebook, YouTube, or you can catch us on any major podcast platform right after the show ends. And Chris Payne said, "You got the invite. That's what counts."
Yeah, I mean. So you can find me and Chris on Tuesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's Rusty Hook Podcast. So I don't know how well you'll be able to find it with search engines since we're so new, but just look up John Rapp on Facebook. We're on Twitch and we're on YouTube. So trying to gather some traction on that new platform of Twitch and put some kayak fishing content over there. So
I dig it, man. I dig it. We appreciate you, brother, man. Wishing you nothing but the best in 2022.
God bless you guys.
Mr. Randall, final thoughts, comments?
Get out there and fish.
The lake's frozen, bro.
Get out there and put some holes in the water and then fish.
No, I love it, man. I love it. And Mr. Rapp, I appreciate you, man. We're looking forward to 2022 over here. Obviously,
look at Graves too, dude. Everybody's coming out right now.
I cut the shit out of my thumb today, and I just slammed it on the table. That really hurt. We'll catch you guys. Look forward to the new fantasy fishing kayak game. We're releasing that Tuesday night. We'll have a live stream on all the paddle and fin platforms. And then also we got Ken Morris is doing a new segment with paddle and fin this year. Just rekindling some of the old river bass and trail stuff and talking about river fishing. John Graves says, "I'm naked with my woman in bed chilling." All right, John. I would say you probably shouldn't be watching a kayak fishing podcast right now.
That's a little
as
weird.
long
Just
as you're
saying.
not laying on the beach somewhere.
You're on the wrong channel.
So with that being said, boys and girls, thanks as always for tuning in. Until next time.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
What time is your show running Tuesday night?
Tuesday night we'll go live
7
Central, 8 Eastern.
8 Central or 7 Central?
7 Central.
Okay.
That's 8 your time.
That's 8 your time.
Okay. So yeah, good. So I will, when I get off my show, I'll push my people your way.
Yeah. Appreciate it, brother. Very good.
All right.
All right, boys and girls. Till next time, tight lines.
God bless.
Smooth paddling. Peace.